Hello, welcome to episode 14 of my personal journey diving deep within my soul with the Enchanted Map Oracle card deck by Colette Baron Reid, illustrated by Jenna Della Bertaglia. And the last time we met, I pulled wide open in the reverse position. My question, what do I need to seed in my field of dreams for my intentions to manifest? I want to talk about why I chose that question and what the field of dreams is before I talk about what I discovered about myself with this card. The field of dreams is something that Colette Baron Reid talks about in her book, The Map, which is sold separate from the deck. But again, this was the book that fell on my head. It was misshelved in a bookstore, fell on my head, and I was like, okay, I'll read this. And there's a lot in here about the field of dreams and an archetype called the gentle gardener, which is also a card in the deck. I'm just going to read a little bit just so you get a sense of what that is. The field of dreams is actually a magical garden, a living system where the seeds of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs germinate. Life grows here above ground where we can see it, and beneath the surface where it is unseen and connected through complex root systems. You will reap what you sow is a biblical saying rich with wisdom. Our subconscious minds store many seeds, and we unwittingly plant them along with the ones of our conscious choices. We sometimes end up with weeds because the seeds we plant consciously aren't strong enough. And sometimes our map determines what will be able to grow in our field of dreams. Now, I talk a lot about intention as I do this, and it's one of the things that I have learned for me. It's very important to be in a neutral place, kind of that gap in between thoughts, in between worlds, not be in my ego when I set intention. Intention is very powerful. And sometimes you get what you ask for, and you haven't really thought through the question or the intention. And sometimes the intention doesn't happen because your soil in your field of dreams is not rich enough, right? It's not been tended to well. And so I asked this question in particular because I wanted to know if, I've had this sense that my unconscious or subconscious intentions have been growing some weeds in my field of dreams. So I wanted to kind of pull that out of my subconscious and know, what's going on here that in my field of dreams so that my intentions will truly manifest. And I got wide open in reverse. Now I had pulled this 10 days earlier, I'm sorry, I haven't done this for 20 days, 10 days earlier in the upright position. And my question was, what is my next right action on my path for my highest good? And I pulled it in the upright position. And that was, to know that I am, I have the ability to obtain the abundance that is out in the world. But I constrict my landscape, not God, not anybody else. If I don't feel like I have abundance, it's because I'm constricting my landscape. So getting this in reverse kind of rocked my world. And if you remember, if you saw the last episode, I was like, well, maybe it has something to do with somebody else's energy in my house and not mine, right? So that's the first clue that it was me, because that was my ego saying that. And it was about me. Deep down, I do not feel free to express my uniqueness. And I don't believe that I have I'm worthy enough to share in all the bounty of life's endless possibilities. Now, I say that, and I say I believe it, but this is about going deeper. I've been doing this work every day for 2 years. And I know it's a process. And yes, I think I'm a good person. I think I have value. I would tell you that I feel like I am worthy to receive everything else, everything out there, everything the world has to offer. Subconsciously, unconsciously, however, there are some deep programs, messages that I received at early age that, there's all that out there for them, but, I'm not one of them. And even though I intellectually say I am worthy, in my heart, I really don't know it. I don't own it. One of the things I learned in Oracle school with Colette was that there's a big difference between believing and knowing. And that really was profound for me because, when you say you believe something, that intimates that you maybe can change your mind at some point about that belief. If you know something, that's totally different. That's a part of you. That's not changeable. I know I have brown eyes. That's never going to change. I know that about me. So I would love to get to that place where I know I'm worthy, and that going deeper with that belief, I hope, convinces that unconscious part of me. I used to think it was silly to put up those, those sayings like on your mirror, I am worthy, I am a child of God. I'm like, oh, whatever. But I think there's something to that for some of us because we need to change our thoughts and those unconscious beliefs, those unconscious tapes that we're not even aware of that are running all the time in the background. And so by constantly restating what we used to believe, eventually that changes the tapes, right? The unconscious tapes. So big difference between belief and knowing. And again, this card made me pause. I need to open my heart. I had a tremendous experience several weeks ago where I had some energy work done, and I, for the first time, felt my heart open in a way it hadn't before. And I have to maintain that now. I know that it's possible. And when it first opened up on that level, it was hard for me to be in the world with my heart that wide open and all that energy flowing. I wasn't used to it at all. So as I would go out of my house, I would kind of close it down and protect it a little bit. And so it's a process of learning how to protect it without shutting it down again, and being able to keep it open all the time so that I can receive. And again, part of that, I started doing this again because I had talked about how good that felt, but I forgot and I stopped doing it. So here I've been doing that again. And just that physical action of opening up my thoracic area, my chest, my heart chakra area helps with my lungs, my breathing. I started using this heart that a good friend of mine gave me, this rose quartz heart. And I've been carrying this in my pocket and holding on to it. And this works with the heart chakra. So again, another profound message. So today, let me get this off the screen. Today, I came up with a question that is based on this past experience with this card. Now my question is, what do I need to understand in order to know that I am worthy in sharing all the bounty of life's endless possibilities? So it's not just about believing anymore. I want to know without a doubt. I want to know on my deepest level that I am worthy. And so I feel like there's something else I need to understand about this, that, I'm not there yet. Okay. So what do I need to understand in order to know that I am worthy in sharing all of the bounty of life's endless possibilities? Did a lot of stretching, a lot of relaxation before I came in here today to do this. Taking some deep heart breaths. I've cleared my deck of the energies from yesterday, or from the day before yesterday's reading. I needed to sit with this an extra day. So this is a good time to talk about jumper cards. This is a complicated topic, and again, every creator of a deck will talk about this differently. One of the things I've learned to do is to recognize whether, is it just because I'm clumsy at the shuffling that I get the jumper? Is it because I'm just not coordinated and cards are flying all over the place? Or is there truly a jumper? And, this is the first time this has happened in 14 days. So I'm pretty good with this deck in terms of not being too clumsy with it. And I didn't feel like I was. And my gut reaction was, oh shit, because what jumped out is heal the ouch in protection. And again, this is a card I've already pulled, and I think I pulled it on the heels of open wide, but both of them were in the upright position. So I'm spiraling back around here to this issue. I didn't quite get it right the first time. And I think Spirit is like, okay, here's a jumper card because you need to see this. So basically, when you get a jumper card, number one, is it because you're clumsy with the deck? So you can put it back in and say, yeah, no, I need to pull again. Or, you can just say, is this really for me today? And you'll know if it is or isn't. Okay. So I do believe that this card is for me today, unfortunately, because clearly I skimmed over the last time I pulled these two cards upright, that I got these two cards again in reverse. So let's pull this up. Yikes. Again, there's not enough swear words for me right now because I was like, oh shit, really? This card? All right, we're going to share my screen, and it's number 38. Feel the ouch. And again, I got it in the reverse position. And a lot came up the last time I pulled this. I'm feeling into it to see, what jumps out at me this time. There's something, when I pulled this in the upright position a couple weeks ago, I remember that one of the things that came up was that there was something in my childhood, an ouch a wound, if you will, in my childhood that I needed to maybe look at. And so I'm thinking in reverse, I missed the boat, and I need to go back and look at that. I'm drawn to the pinks, the color in the background today. That's really kind of sticking out for me. Maybe I don't want to see what's right in front of me. I'm focused on far away. All right, let's see what this has to say in the reverse position. And the essence is forgiveness is the healer of the soul. Reversed, this card is a message urging you to make amends for any harm you've done to another. Appraise yourself honestly. How have you been selfish, greedy, or inconsiderate of others? Have you harbored resentment towards those who have harmed you in the past? Practice deep and radical forgiveness. In order to be free, to know healing, you must surrender your old hurts and begin anew. Forgiving yourself and loving yourself is important too. Be humble and willing to admit to your weaknesses. Know the imperfections of the human personality. Walk tall as you take the path of the shaman, the wise elder who is willing to go into the shadows to bring healing light to old wounds. So, what do I need to understand in order to know that I am worthy in sharing all the bounty of life's endless possibilities? Well, this is kind of obvious. There's something I need to understand about what's jumping out is it's about I've harbored resentment toward those who have harmed me in the past. So I need to understand something about that I'm holding on to that. And I'm not, in a state of forgiveness around that. Practice deep and radical forgiveness. So this is coming around again because Spirit knows I want to go deep with this. I think I skimmed the surface before, and now it's about, going deep and really getting honest. It's not just about radical forgiveness, but radical honesty with myself as well. Because there may be somebody that I've harmed that I need to make amends for. And I have done a lot of amends work, but again, it's a process, and there's layers. And so I'm a different person today than I was, when the last time I did any amends work. So I'm going to have to look at that again, as well as old hurts. Forgiving yourself and loving yourself is important too. Well, I can tell you right now that I'm going to take a couple of days with this one. So this work is not for the faint of heart. This is how it's done. You can see that these cards, if I put that intention out there, that I seriously want to dig deep, they're gonna get me to do it, aren't they? So until next time, which is probably going to be a couple of days, because I need to percolate on this and do a lot of work around this. Until next time, namaste.